Alright, ladies and gents, as you can see, we have the patch details for Wolverine and Sabretooth's new tier 3 and tier 4. We're going to be getting some new uniforms. Let's see if these things are actually going to be worthwhile. You know, for me these days, I'm being very stingy with my tier 4 materials, so I am super excited. I haven't checked this thing out ahead of time, so let's see if they're actually going to give us something good for these characters to make them actually worth picking up the new uniforms for, and then going all the ways, because it's been a while since I've tier 4'd somebody. So as you can see, this is the patch schedule right here. So let's jump into it. Wolverine's X of Death uniform, or the Omega Wolverine uniform. If you've seen this comic run, you know exactly what we're talking about. So no new tags for him. Now jumping right into the uniform bonus, the only thing that's new here from what I can see is they're giving him enhanced basic stats.
And I thought my jokes were bad.
Not really anything to write home about. We'll have to wait and see how that goes. Now for his tier 3 skill, from what I can see at a brief glance here, it looks like they made it so that his ignore, dodge, and his penetration lasts 3 seconds longer. Not really anything to write home about. Before it was 7 seconds, now it's 10 seconds. This is remaining exactly the same, and this is exactly the same as it was on the previous uniform. We got silence on the first skill, V-pad on the second skill. That's a big change there. That wasn't the case last time. Third skill has invincibility and a 50% attack buff for 7 seconds with a 13-second cooldown. So you can keep that up pretty much all the time, so that's pretty good. We got paralysis. We got the ability to decrease enemies' recovery rate, so that's actually pretty interesting for PvP. And then we have iframe ignore on the 5th skill, which is very interesting. So here's the thing, iframe ignore on the 5th skill, 8-second cooldown. That's a long time for PvP compared to a 5.5-second cooldown. Wolverine having to wait 8 seconds, that feels like a lifetime. I don't know about you guys. I'm not really seeing anything here that is meta defining for Wolverine, so this looks like it's another character that I'm gonna get to level 80 and just leave there, because these days, no matter how much I love a character, I'm sorry, I'm not gonna just buy into the hype and just spend money just because. So unless I see something extraordinary about Wolverine, he's just gonna sit at level 80. That's a fact, because these devs gotta work harder. They can't just like drop a uniform and a mediocre upgrade for a character and get me to pull the trigger on a tier 4 no more. No sir, no sir, you're gonna have to work harder. Now let's take a look at Sabretooth. Now Sabretooth, in my eyes, is an easy skip just because of the fact that Wolverine and Sabretooth combat characters, and there's so many good combat supervillains in the game already, and he's not gonna be able to get to level 80 in tier 4, so he's gonna be weaker than people like Namor, people like Dr. Octavius, people like Carnage, people like Hulk. But let's see what they do. Let's see if maybe they have something extraordinary in this kit, and that's gonna make me eat my words. We got chain hit damage 20%, guard break immunity, that's big, 40% damage reduction. All of this juice, okay, juice. Maybe, just maybe, he has a chance in PvP, especially since his second skill, oh look at that boys, 4.5 seconds, and he has iframe ignore. This is really good. So even better than Adam Warlock. Adam Warlock has to wait 5.5 seconds. Sabretooth only has to wait 4.5 seconds. Wolverine has to wait 8 seconds. Okay, so iframe ignore on the second skill, really good. He has mockery, which is really good. So enemies who have debuff removal on them, they take extra damage from Sabretooth. 40% chance to penetrate everything. He removes all debuffs from himself, gives himself a barrier. So all of this looks really good. Sabretooth might have a chance. He might become, I don't know, maybe like Gore, one of the very few tier 3 characters that actually is able to participate in the tier 4 fiasco that is timeline battle right now. But this is just on paper. I don't want to jump the gun just yet, but definitely off to a good start. Incapacitation, paralysis, super armor, all basic defenses increase. That's nice. All attack, extra defense here, critical rate, immunity. You love to see it. Decent cooldown time, decreased recovery rate, invincibility, more attack, increased skill damage and bonus damage. That's good. We got bleed, decreased recovery rate there again. We got paralysis. We got defense down for people who are still playing Robots Ultimate, I guess, or maybe for Shadowland. We got ignore dodge in the kit, all attack, more defenses, some speed. All of this look really good, but the only thing that's really standing out to me right now is the chain hit damage, guard break immunity, damage reduction, iframe ignore with a low cooldown time on the second skill, the mockery ability. All of this, chef's kiss. They're doing a really good job here with Sabretooth. Looks like he might actually be more than just a PvE character. Let me see for Wolverine. Tier 4 gives you 80% attack, it gives you an increase to all of your active buffs and 60% 50% extra HP. This reminds me of Star-Lord. However, I do like the increase to your active buffs. One thing that I didn't see in Wolverine or Sabretooth's kit is actually a heal outside of their 4-star passives, both of them having the ability to just recover HP when they're under 99% HP. So it looks like they don't want to give these guys any additional ways to heal. Let's see if it's actually good enough for Sabretooth to actually compete in timeline battle, because if Sabretooth does not become as good as Gore, who's a free character even though he's very expensive to build because tier 3 native, if Sabretooth does not become as good as Gore, then Sabretooth in my eyes is a major skip because he costs so much crystals. I'm just gonna say that. But let me see what the tier 3 actually is saying. Here we got bleed, decreased recovery rate against stun, fear, fracture, paralysis, 80% chance to penetrate everything, invincibility, 150% damage prop. The tier 3 looks good, but it's just a whole bunch of slashes. Nah, we've seen it before. We've seen it once, we've seen it a dozen times. Okay, guard break immunity. Oh wow, so basically they gave Sabretooth the exact same artifact as Wolverine. I can't really argue with this because they're so similar in everything that they do, but it truly makes me wonder if they're gonna give him this artifact with guard break immunity. Why did they actually give him guard break immunity on his uniform bonus? And now he has 2 ways to give himself guard break immunity. You can build him with pretty much any CTP you want, so that's really good. And you have Wolverine, doesn't have guard break immunity outside of his artifact. That's interesting. So for PvP, Sabretooth is definitely getting a bit more love than Wolverine. Okay, so we have some additional improvements for Kang the Conqueror's World Boss Legend stage. As you can see, they're making it a little bit easier for you to complete some of the challenges. So it says clear within 150 seconds, that's being changed to 180 seconds, and clear within 100 seconds is now 150 seconds. And the reason for that is Kang moves around through dimensions, and the boss fight at higher levels is almost impossible for you to complete in 100 seconds. I dare say it is impossible just because he wastes so much time with all of the phase transitions that he does. So if you're trying to find the easiest boss to clear on a daily basis to save as much time as possible, then you don't want to be playing Kang, because Kang, all those cutscenes, yeah, it makes it almost impossible for you to clear in under 100 seconds. I find the easiest one to clear really quickly on a daily basis is probably Ultron. You can just one-shot him all the way down to 8 bars, and then after about 4 or 5 seconds he becomes targetable again, and then you can just clear the fight in about maybe 45-55 seconds around, depending on how strong a character you're using. Anyways, so daily challenges for Otherworld Battle: win with all characters at 70% HP or higher one time is being changed to 50% HP or higher one time. This is very good. They could have made it a little bit easier, like 3 characters being above 50% instead of all characters being above 50%, but that's really good because it's kind of annoying having to do that challenge once a day every day. Weekly, win an Otherworld Battle with all characters above 70% HP or higher 5 times is being changed to 50% HP or higher 5 times. That's pretty good. Oh, and if any of you guys were wondering, there's gonna be a 20% discount on Sabretooth, so instead of paying 2,500 for him, you only have to pay 2,000 crystals.